Hey folks, in today's episode, a sneak peek unboxing of Blood Bowl 2nd season. Stick around.
You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Thanks for sticking around. I am so excited. I'm Carlos,
Michael,
Barry, and we're the Beans and Dice podcast. And today, Michael gave me a shout. He's the purveyor of games at Armada Games in Temple Terrace, Florida. Board games for people of all ages. Let's clarify that.
Yep.
And he got in a review or preview copy of the next edition of Blood Bowl that's coming out.
Yep. Releasing November 27th.
Which I have been so excited about for so long. So the moment he said that, I mean, I just got giddy. Like I almost, it was great. So.
Yeah, and I've had this in my possession for 8 hours, and the shrink is still on by, you can tell because of the glare. Super hard to resist in this one. Should we?
No, without further ado, let's get into this.
Take a look and see.
So our camera angles for today, we've got an overhead shot. So Michael's overhead direct shot, so he's going to be able to unbox and show us all the goodies. Over here, I'm going to be able to get you some play with some stuff over here. And then over there, we've got the long distance shot, so you can see the unboxing in all its glory. Look at that mess of plastic.
Sprues. Classic Blood Bowl GW colored sprues, or the dyed sprues. That's the ogre. There is
some of these
Griff.
over here, so I can show them off.
Sorry.
You showed me. This is.
That's the ogre.
Yeah, because now it comes with an actual ogre for your team, where before
and a troll. There's both an ogre and a troll in this box.
So, if you're watching this, it's likely because you are a Blood Bowl person. But for those of you that aren't Blood Bowl people, the box sets before came with just a team of 12.
Yeah. So it's basically, this is a 12-person team. There's 6 guys on each.
Yep.
So, and the sprues are identical. So.
And that's how the first box set came that I bought, the 2016 version.
Yep, they're lined up at. If I can actually figure out how to do this, there it is.
Now it's identical.
The sprues are completely identical. This is the Nobles team.
But if you had a humans team like this team, in order to buy the big guy, you had to go separately purchase a big guy. Correct. Same for the orcs. You had to buy the big guy separate.
Which would be about, $30 or so?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And now they're included in the box set.
And this is the Black Orc team sprues.
And then, so we'll clarify, the original 2016 box set does come with human and orcs.
Correct.
However, it was the human team and the orcs team. Here, we have the black orcs. These are savage black orcs, is from what I understand. Yep. And then we have a noble humans team. So they're different. They're not the same.
This is the throwing sprue looks exactly the same as the other one, the one from last edition, which is a good thing.
And then on top of that, you get these star players that are coming in. Oh, look at that.
All the teams that are currently available, including the Necromantic team, which is releasing alongside this in the end of this month.
That's just a piece of how many teams are available in this game. How many teams in Blood Bowl?
So, officially from Games Workshop, it's those plus 6.
Plus 6.
Which are the Amazon, Norse, High Elves, Khemri,
Dark, or Chaos Dwarves.
Chaos Dwarves, Khemri,
High Elves. Norse team, Amazons, vampires.
Vampire counts, thank you. Yep. All the teams of Legends are still in. Well, almost all of them. We only lost the unofficial ones.
Let me grab a board.
This
is the new pitch.
Is the new pitch, and it looks pretty fantastic.
It's double-sided.
Yep. I will say I kind of do like the orc board from last edition, a little bit better than the what did they call it? Astrogranite turf. It's also very thematic with the way GW's been going. So it's like, let's flip this over to get this full, wow, there we go. Okay, I have to recant what I just said. So Blood Bowl has been around since, I think it was 86 or 88. In the second edition, the pitch was actually made up of 3 foam pieces. And it was about this thick. It was pretty fantastic. It took up an entire box all on its own, and it looked exactly like this. I mean, it was raised in terrain, etc. Like painted the board. I still have
and that's what I meant by the nostalgia piece, because that's something that goes online for high cost. So we're just going to compare the size of the pitches from 2016 Blood Bowl.
Okay.
Exactly
It's
the
exactly
same.
the same size.
Okay, exactly the
This
same.
is fantastic.
So we're not losing anything.
Yep.
Same quality, same semi-gloss surface.
Yep.
So which is nice because it's not gonna get the super shine on it.
Still only has one end zone spot, which I'm still fine with. Prior editions, there were 2 spaces in the end zone allowed for a little bit better play.
Oh.
These are quite a bit smaller than they were before.
I'm okay with that though.
Yeah, the dugouts tended to take up a bunch of room.
Well, here's a dugout from the first one.
Yeah, it's
I cut mine in half because I literally cut mine in half because I couldn't use them. They were unusable. A lot of glare there. Let me come to this camera so you can show it.
So there's the dugouts. There's gonna be a lot less room.
So 2 of the new
looks a lot
dugouts
better, though.
sit
Yep.
on one dugout.
The only thing I don't like about this is the fact that the spaces here are quite a bit smaller than the actual pitch, the squares on the pitch.
So the models are going to be bigger than the space to put them on?
Well, most of the models will just end up sitting up here,
the
which
dugouts.
we never really use this much. Like, this is so much more room that's actually needed. But I know a lot of people that use the other pieces, like other players, for the markers on the board.
Yeah, like the coin. The coin is
So the coin is
going to cover up the entire space.
going to take up the entire space, whereas on this one, the coins sit within the space. So
But I am fine with this.
Oh,
like
I
this,
am too.
It was a table hog. You rarely saw folks playing with the original dugouts for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, like on a standard folding table, this will probably actually fit.
Right. Well, before I could
to-
not play this on my end zone.
The dugouts always went at the end of the boards.
So I mean, if looking here, right?
Yeah.
So if this is my big 6x3 table. I could not use the dugout and the board sideways to play against Barry. But now
You can.
But you can't
I can
with
fit dugout boards on each side.
Oh, yeah.
And we're
And
good.
still, yeah. So now, I mean, I can play this in a pub. We're on a 3x3 table now. We've now limited our space to a 3x3 surface. That. Thank you, Games Workshop.
That is
Smart move.
huge.
Yep.
No, it's smaller.
Well,
Thanks, Carl. This is what I am super happy about.
that is a nice quality.
And this is
board.
where I give Michael props because
Wow.
Michael has refrained. He didn't do what I did. Refrained from seeking all the leaked information on what rules are changing, on what they're doing different. I, on the other hand, have been searching Russian and Chinese websites for any photo
The FBI are going to come knocking on his door anytime now.
because I want to know what's coming. So I have a good idea of what's in there, but there's a lot of missing holes that I just can't wait to fill.
Yeah, I am definitely going to be going through this book with a fine-tooth comb over the next week, just to see, because a lot of the pictures that I did see, the pictures were blurry, like it was a little hard to read what was going on with them.
It took a lot of effort to find the right photos.
So, first things first, we're going to pop back here to page 104.
What's on 104?
The teams.
What teams are in here?
Teams in the base book are the Black Orcs, the Chaos Chosen, the Chaos Renegades, the Dark Elves, Dwarfs, Elven Union, Goblins, Halflings, Human Imperial Nobility, Lizardmen, Necromantic, Ogre, Nurgle, Orc, Old World Alliance, Shambling Undead, Skaven, Underworld Denizens, Snotlings, and the Wood Elves. That is exactly every team that has been produced by Games Workshop since 2016.
Which is great because I've been buying since I started getting into this in 2018 is when I jumped in.
Yeah, I started playing in 1992 or 1994.
You got a little bit on me.
Somewhere in there.
So if you wanted to use a Legends team, where would you find their stats?
PDF download on the GW website.
The Warhammer Community website
Warhammer
has an article named, or that came out today, that has a PDF download for the Teams of Legends, and Kimmery got better.
Did it? They
Yes.
actually adjusted stats?
The throwers and the blitzers both have tough skull or thick skull now,
Oh wow.
and effectively the throwers agility. Just the thrower benefits from an extra point of agility in passing. So they're actually going to be able to throw the ball a bit, though. Still, we're going to have to catch on.
What's the
4s and
passing
5s.
skill?
So
I know what the passing skill is, but what's the passing stat for the thrower now on camera?
3+.
That's not bad.
No, that's real good.
That's better than it's been before for
Yes.
you. You're
Yeah, it was 5+.
So what they did, Barry, in the new edition, this is fun. I get to talk to Barry about what's changing because Barry's very new at it, almost like I'm talking to viewers. So viewer, you are Barry. Barry, you are viewer. They've added a passing stat. So
Okay.
before there wasn't a passing stat. Your passing and your catching was based on your agility stat. The agility stat was used for things like dodging, catching, throwing. And where the unbalance came in is you had players that were meant to be dodgy fast,
but could also pass.
They can really throw the ball.
Passing. So I played a game on camera with you when I was playing Dark Elves, right?
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember if we actually played that on camera or not. But Dark Elves...
No, we didn't do the Dark Elves.
we didn't do the Dark Elves
We
on camera. We did camera on camera. So Dark Elves all had agility 5. Or, I'm sorry, agility 4.
So every Dark Elf could pass the ball like it was no one's business.
Correct.
On a 3+.
Even though the team was supposed to be running based. But you also had the same issue with Skaven. But in order to balance the agility teams with all the dodges and stuff, in order to balance all of the agility stuff, like it made throwing super good. So a team that is thematically a running team
would just pass because it was better to pass than to run.
Yep.
Or, as a Skaven would do, you would get 4 gutter runners because they were the best buy in the game itself.
Yep.
You would chuck the ball down the field, right, all the way down Hail Mary, and then just run your guys down there and pick it up.
Pick it up and run in the end zone.
Yep. So
now they can't throw the ball because the odds of fumbling are so high now because they throw their passing stat is like a 5+.
So they still have a great agility, but now with the passing stat, that doesn't mean anything.
Now it makes a thrower important.
So
now you have to have a dedicated thrower for your team if you're going to be a throwing team.
The Skaven, the gutter runners have agility 2+. Oh, but also we're on target numbers now instead of stat like skill
which is
ability,
great.
Which is the same thing that they did with 7th edition 40K.
Oh, did they do that with 4K?
Yes.
Because I remember the old table.
Yeah, the old table was terrible.
Which was similar to this.
I'm sorry, it was either 7th or 8th edition in 40K. But they've gone back to target numbers because it is much better. It's like, oh, you have agility 5. That means you need to roll a 2 to do something. That's what?
Remember, I kept trying to teach you that in our first game, and you kept looking at me weird. Like, okay, your stat is this, which means you need this, minus this, you need to roll this plus.
Yeah.
Now they just give it to you.
Now your agility is 3+.
So now it's telling you what you're actually supposed to roll or better.
What you want on the dice roll, yeah.
That makes much more sense to me than...
Mm-hmm. GW has done a lot and has learned a lot as far as presentation goes. Like the new editions of all of their games have been fantastic. Correct. There's agility 2+ for the gutter runners. So effectively they were agility 4 under the old rules. But their passing skill is a 4+. The blitzers is a 5+. The lineman is a 4+.
That's the base, though, because you're going to have modifiers for obstructions, how far you throw it.
There are going to be a bunch of modifiers to it, which I will be diving into later. But they are not a premier throwing team because they don't have everybody with agility 4 or agility 5. Most of Skaven had agility 3 before, but like all of the elves teams, when you look through them, the passing skill is nowhere near what it was in the past, so it just needs to be, they'll be played a little bit differently, which is one of the goals of new additions, like tweak the rules just a bit. And now with the agility and passing being separate, it's going to be a lot easier to balance teams like that, and also be able to explore other avenues of the agility teams and not just have them all be ball-moving wizard teams.
So hopefully it removes some of the unintentional jank that was going on.
Yes.
I will say it does make, unfortunately, one of the teams that gets hit real hard by this is the dwarf team.
Yeah.
Because the dwarves, now granted the dwarves weren't meant to be a throwing team at all anyways.
We didn't have a thrower.
Correct. You had runners, blitzers, linemen, etc. But now the Troll Slayers don't even have a passing skill. And the blitzers and runners are passing on 4, the linemen pass on 5s. But you still need to be able to have that skill in order to throw a pass.
Right.
So in teams like the dwarves, if you just concentrate on some of the positionals and make it nearly impossible for them to ever throw a ball, even in an emergency situation, it's going to be a little bit harder for them.
And that's been something that the boards have been talking about, is the fact that there are now players who no longer have the ability to throw the ball. Yeah. In the previous editions, any player could try to chuck the ball, ice it, or throw it downfield.
My Agility 1 Tomb Guardians had the ability to throw the ball downfield if they needed to.
But now it's a dash.
But
they're mummies.
Correct.
It makes sense.
Yep. The other rough spot is going to be things like, for the Elven Union, their throwers are passing skill 2, blitzers are 3, linemen and catchers are 4. If you want to try to slow them down, take out both of the throwers. Now they're
throwing on
they're
3+.
going to be throwing on 3+ as a base instead of their 2 guys will have it on a 2. So it is both going to be good and bad, which means it's just going to be an adjustment. People are going to have to look at how they play.
So now it's a little bit more tactical of what character are you going to try to actually kill.
Well, yeah, it's no longer a blanket. If they're on the board, they need to die. You can take out a couple guys and actually just completely hamstring an army.
Yep.
Sorry, a team.
Army.
But yeah, everything that I have seen, I am a big fan of. All the new stuff that I have seen, and I want to go do a dive in as far as the actual rules later, and we can come back and talk.
One of the things I have to say is, from a librarian standpoint, this book is so well put together. This is just a beautiful,
even the tape is thicker
hardcover
than
book.
the prior tape.
Yep.
And it's just the colors, the artwork.
What do we call this?
Tassel.
Okay, the tassel is
The bookmark tassel.
Is thicker. I had to ask a librarian.
So I mean, just
Barry the librarian.
Yeah.
you look at some of this beautiful artwork.
Look at that. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean that's just a very well put
Speaking
together.
of the Tree Man, Halflings, love that team. That's coming out now. They're finally putting a Tree Man model out.
Yes, there is going to be a Treeman model that you can get that is not Forge World.
I almost bought some Reaper miniature trees, but now that they announced the Tree Men are coming out,
They're finally putting an end into the game.
Another
Nice.
$50 they're getting out of me because I need 2 of them.
I don't remember what the price was on it, but
It'll
Yeah.
be somewhere around there.
yeah.
Cause that's all the components. We pulled up all the components. Let's see. We talked about. We flipped through the
We
rule
haven't
book.
tried the dice yet.
Yep. So
Oh yeah.
the classic neutral teamed red Blood Bowl dice and green Blood Bowl dice.
But translucent.
yeah, well the non-team specific one. This is that what.
Well,
the one they've been
2016
doing.
was solid.
Right, but the one that they're selling that they have now is not. Like the one that's outside of the box.
Right. All the outside of the box were translucent.
Yep.
But the 2016 starter set came with solid dice.
Yeah, blue
This
and
is
green.
much better.
Yeah.
I like the translucent dice.
Yep. Actually, very easy to read, very clear.
So to recap what's in the box, you're going to get 2 teams of 12 models. You're going to get a coach for each team.
No,
two
a ref.
two referees.
Two refs.
2 referees. Okay.
The dwarf and elf
an elf.
ref. That is the blue sprue that is in the box.
Which is that's just flavor.
It's just flavor. Yeah.
You're gonna get
Fun
the
flavor.
special for each team.
Yep, you'll get the star player for each team.
Yep. Varigold Chaser and Oberwald.
Overwald.
Something like that.
And then you're going to receive the big guy for each team.
An ogre for the nobles and a troll for the orcs for the Black Orc team.
You're going to get not just the soft cover rulebook like the 2016 set came in. You're going to get a hardcover rulebook.
That book is so nice.
This is the exact same book that they're selling separate.
Correct.
On its own for $50.
Yep.
Comes in this box. So you don't have to buy the set. Like I always buy the separate hardcover whenever I get a box set because I like the hardcover books to go on the shelf.
Now you don't have
I don't
to.
have to.
Yep.
I was about to order. We were talking about that at the shop, so I don't have to. And then you get the range rulers, so you can measure range in the game. You get a double-sided pitch and cheat sheets. Let's check out these cheat sheets. I think that's it.
Cheat sheet.
Cheat sheets.
Cheat
Sheets. Oh, sheet.
My favorite thing about this being the first thing under the cheat sheet is the post-game sequence.
And counter GW.
And then the turnover. But yeah, it goes through like sequence of play, weather stuff, basically things that you need to know. And then on the back, so what the actual actions are and what you can do with them, how to do the throws. So
This is
actually
more than the
pretty
first
decent.
one came with.
Oh,
First
yeah.
one was just a 2-sided piece of cardboard like this.
Yep.
This is 4 pages.
This one even has the explanation of what all the sides of the dice do.
Yes. And names.
Good improvement, guys.
And it's matte. Look at this
Yeah.
matteness of it. I mean, it's coming through on the camera. You can see it.
The quality of the components are really nice in this.
Yeah.
Because this feels good.
And one of them has the Black Orc team and the other one has the human team on it.
Oh, wow. 2 completely separate
So,
prints.
yep.
Yeah, you could see on the front
Oh, it even has the icons, which I completely missed,
Yep.
different icons.
If we were paying attention.
over here.
Yep.
And then, the injury table, which has now been severely cleaned up and quite a bit better looking, in my opinion.
Well, going down from a 2d6 roll to a
It was D68 before.
D68,
D6
D8 and a
D8,
D6.
yes.
Yep.
For 10
And you died if the D6 rolled a 6.
period.
Flat out dead.
Yep. Now it's going to be a D16, so more uses for the D16, fantastic. And there's a 1 in 8 chance of the character being dying. This does make niggling injuries even more powerful, like more of a detriment for the person that has.
Because there's more odds that you're going to get the second roll having the niggling
right,
injury.
because if you have the niggling injury, you get +1 to the casualty result. So which means on a 14, 15, or 16 you would die. So you're now at 3 in 16, whereas you were at 7 in 36, 7 in 30 something before.
It's math, folks. Not my place. And he's a librarian. We know he don't know math.
Well, unless they're decimal points, right? Oh, wait, fractions are decimal
Dewey's
points.
decimals.
Oh, Dewey
Yes.
decimals.
It has to be Dewey's decimals.
But yeah,
There's a reason I'm teaching civics and not math now.
The next thing that we need to do is digest this
Yep.
and sit down and have a deep dive conversation on the rules, the presentation, the changes.
But one of the things you're talking about with the teams of legend is
Yeah.
one of the teams is the Viking team. If you own Blood Rage,
not in the book, not in the book.
sorry.
So
Good.
what we're talking about here is the PDF that you can get online is going to give you the teams of legends. And we were chatting today on the board about the Norse team and the idea that, you know what, if you own other minis games, because they don't have the official Norse models by GW, if you have something that has vampires, or in this case, Vikings, right? So these Viking miniatures, you can now create your own Blood Bowl team using models that you have in other games. So my thought is, I'm gonna bust out my Blood Rage box set. I'm gonna create some linemen. I'm gonna have a Yeti. Find some werewolves, and boom, we've got a team of legend Norse team. So someone who wants to get into Blood Bowl but doesn't want to buy everything can get a rule book, download a PDF, and boom, you already have models to go with it. That's part of what I love about Blood Bowl. I played a guy in a convention this past year before the Coof hit, and he shared with me his undead team that he has that are Star Wars, Wookiees for werewolves.
Yeah, one of the guys who played in the last league was using xenomorphs for lizardmen.
Yeah, using alien xenomorphs.
Yep.
So it's the fun theme, the community around Blood Bowl. So I'm trying to sell Blood Bowl to you now as a community to share with my friends. The reason to get into Blood Bowl is the community aspect, the modeling aspect. It
is a great miniatures game just for beer and pretzels situations. It is not heavy enough. It is not so heavy that you can't play it while enjoying a beverage or just hanging out with friends. And you also don't have to have an entire, giant tackle box full of models in order to play.
It also sounds like the community is a lot more lighthearted and easygoing than your typical Warhammer community is. At least
That can be said to both directions.
At least with using stand-in models.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes,
That's what I was talking about. Because at 40K, a lot of people will not let you. What you see is what you get. Where here it's like, well, they haven't printed this team for years, so I'll use this, and people seem to be fine with it.
Yeah, or even alternate sculpts.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of alternate sculpt teams out there for established teams, because maybe I want a group of leprechauns to be my halflings.
Yep.
Right. We can do that.
And hopefully, once everything goes past, we will be running leagues and put tournaments back on the schedule. That's the top of the box.
Like that metallic
The box looks so nice too.
holograph.
GW really knocked it out of the park with this one.
A holographic sticker here to prove it's official.
Yep.
It's not, and there is a concern for a lot of counterfeiting going on. So I can see where this holographic sticker can come into play in other games in the future. So you might see more of that. So folks, there's your look at that shiny holograph. There's your look at Blood Bowl 2nd Edition.
Yep.
Michael.
It goes on pre-order this Saturday, November 14th.
Yep. Tell them where they can get it.
Releases on November 27th. If you want to get a copy and you're here in Tampa, give us a call up at Armada Games, 813-980-6080. It will be up on our website on Saturday, shoparmada.com, and armadagames.com now forwards directly to shoparmada.com, so no more confusion there. It only took us a little while to get that done, but it's now done. We will have, there is limited amount of stuff on the not box. So The necromantic teams were already have all of them reserved. The single treeman we want is already reserved.
Single.
Yep. But as far as this box goes, GW price is $140, our price is $119. Facebook, Discord, call us, stop by. We're open Monday to Saturday from noon to 8 p.m.
Folks, I want to say thank you to Michael for coming over, sharing with us. Thank you for sticking around and watching. I know this was very informal, not a lot of structure to this, but that's because this is such a
New.
I'm excited. Like,
Yes,
I'm not even ready to build a script or talk or I just want to look at it.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.